is up, guys? This is Rise, and welcome to some of the elite teams that you are going to be able to use to have success in Go Battle League Season 16. The season is right upon us. It's starting in a few hours from the time I'm recording this, and make sure you watch to the end of this video, because not just 5 teams are we going to go over here and how to utilize them, but I'm going to have an announcement at the end where you can check out even more teams that are going to be useful. So, in collaboration with Go Stadium and some of my amazing teammates, we have 5 teams we're going to start for you that are going to be elite, great league teams, stadium elite teams. And we're going to start off with some teams that are going to be, I think, pretty meta, that feature Pokemon that have benefited from the move updates, and some teams, even if the Pokemon doesn't have a move that was directly buffed from the updates, maybe its place in the meta is sort of buffed because either its counters got worse or more things got enhanced that it's going to be able to beat itself. That's kind of the yin and the yang of Pokemon Go PvP in terms of the meta. To start things off, we have a team submitted by a Master League specialist, a man with more shinies and hundos than most. A man with a beard so majestic you probably won't believe it, and you should check out his stream. But we have a team from Mr. Fragin Wagon, and we're going to start off with this because I think this is going to be an example of a really strong meta line. And team number 1, you might be saying, Rise, Metacham already? But the reality of it is, Jameson, that Metacham is going to be really good still. And Psychic did get nerfed, but it only got nerfed by 5 damage, and that's only going to really impact a few matchups. Whereas other Pokemon like Noctowl falling out of the meta, they got a 5 energy nerf is way more impactful than a 5 damage nerf, because 5 damage, you're going to do slightly less. It might flip really close matchups. 5 energy, it's taking you an entire extra fast move to get to your charge move. And we know in this game, it can be a matter of inches. So, Psychic, not too much of a nerf. I think it was a good idea that they nerfed Medi just because Medi's usage is so high. But here's the thing with this team is with the nerf of Noctowl, with Sky Attack now being 50 energy as opposed to 45 energy, not only are you opening up Medi a little bit more, you're opening up some of the other flyers. Things like Pelipper. Altaria was also hurt by this nerf for Sky Attack. You're not going to see quite as many Altaria flying around in the sky. Pelipper likes to avoid Altaria because it can only really threaten it with the Hurricane, and even the Hurricane doesn't KO. So Pelipper is a big beneficiary indirectly from these move updates, in my opinion at least. And it's also a flyer that can fight back against Carbink. I don't know if Pelipper can flip the Carbink matchup, but that's something we can go on over to PV Poke. I've got some of the speculative rankings there on the left. And if we take a quick little gander over on pvpoke.com, that's where I am, we can look at Pelipper against Carbink, which is going to probably have like a trickle of popularity. I think most people probably still don't have one built. But if we look at this, so this actually has Carbink just not throwing any Rock Slide. That's kind of funny, and just farming all the way down. So it looks like this is quite a dominant matchup still for Carbink. But Weather Ball does 27%. What if we give Pelipper like a 2-wing attack head start? Does that make any difference? It doesn't. So maybe Pelipper's not quite what you want to use to lure out Carbink. You would need a 4-wing attack head start to actually flip that matchup in the 1-shield. And this is a little bit misleading, right? Because even if you have a 4-wing attack head start, like you've probably taken some damage if you have 4-wing attacks. If I make this like a rank 1 Pelipper, maximize those IVs, that actually helps it out a little bit. What if I like maximize Mr. Carbink? Yeah, so this is good, right? We're all learning on the fly, and you're going to need 4 Weather Balls realistically to knock out the Carbink. So it looks like 4-wing attack head start is enough to flip it. 3-wing attack is not. So Pelipper, with this team strategy we got going on, is not going to flip the carbing matchup. And you might be thinking like, well, what's the point of luring it out if you can't flip switch? Well, if you lure it out, you freed the way for Mandibuzz. And I don't even want to show you the Mandibuzz versus carbing simulations because Mandibuzz does not want any part of that matchup. I think I saw someone said even if Mandibuzz has Shadow Ball, it still loses the 0-2 shield scenario, or the 2-0 shield scenario. So this, I think, is going to be a very functional team from Fragin, which could see a lot of meta popularity because it's very straightforward ABB. You swap the Pelly, you lure out the flying counter, and hopefully Mandibuzz clears in back. And Mandibuzz is the sole direct beneficiary of a move update. With Aerial Ace now being 40 energy, going to be able to spam those off rather quickly compared to before. So, shout out to Fragin Wagon. By the way, Fragin, a streamer, go check him out on Twitch, a Master League specialist for Stadium Elite, terrific Master League player, and also has been really impressive in Great League at NAIC, had like a 7-2 run. So, really fun guy. I encourage you to check out his stream. We say goodbye to Fragin, and we say hello to the Arrow and his team. I gotta say, there is like viewer discretion is advised with this team because this team on paper is so weak to a few things. It's so weak to Alolan Sandslash, and it's so weak to Abomasnow. Abomasnow isn't super common, and I will defend Arrow because if you see a Shadow Abomasnow, you can chip with water guns, and they're usually not going to bait your Lantern. So Lantern can actually like chip away pretty well in that matchup to the point where maybe you get it low that you lose it, and then Gligar can just wing attack down. Arrow is known for running his conspicuous teams. Conspicuous. Am I using that word correctly? I don't even know. I kind of forget the definition. Let me know in the comments. What is the definition of conspicuous? But I think of it as like almost like scary, like Halloween. Conspicuous, like suspicious. Anyway, Lantern, Shadow Gligar, which is a direct beneficiary with Aerial Ace and Dig. Not too many Pokemon probably got 2 moves that were buffed in this update. Off the top of my head, I can't think of others. But Aerial Ace being less energy and Dig being less energy as well is going to be really beneficial for Gligar. And Gligar has shot up in the rankings as a flyer. We also have Venusaur as a closer. And with less Altaria, with less Noctowl, of course, we are going to see a rise, I would think, in Venusaur, which is already a very strong and powerful Pokemon as a closer. Lantern, of course, don't necessarily need to run Water Gun. Some people are saying Spark nerf, but it's really more of like a side grade. I don't know if it's even a nerf because from what I'm hearing, I've heard like rumors that Spark is going to become a Bullet Punch clone, which I don't know for sure, but if it is a Bullet Punch clone, that's a pretty decent fast move and not much worse than Spark was already. So it's going to trade a little bit of that energy gain for damage gain, and suddenly Lantern has the option of an electric fast move that's going to be dealing a little bit more damage, or Water Gun for that pew pew factor. Now, we say goodbye to the Arrow, who, by the way, go check out his stream. Terrific streamer, terrific battler, was a Worlds qualifier this past year, and will look to do it again. But after Mr. Arrow's team, we are going to say hi to House Stark 93, and he's got a cool looking team with a couple of familiar faces, but also that Shadow Alolan Sandslash. Arrow's team was kind of core broken by the Shadow Alolan Sandslash, but one thing with Arrow's team is Water Gun Lantern can really hold its own in that matchup. Maybe Spark Lantern, oh man, maybe Spark Lantern actually benefits from the Spark change because the Sparks are going to be dealing more. So yeah, that'll be interesting when PvPoke updates the site to reflect those changes, if Spark Lantern has a better Alolan Sandslash matchup. But then, of course, you've got Medicham and Mandibuzz. So basically a steel type in the lead, right? A steel type, and then 2 things that are weak to fairy. So I would presume Medicham is the safer swap as opposed to Mandibuzz. Mandibuzz, I feel like usually is going to have harder checks, like fairy type Pokemon, like Carbink now. So I would presume Medicham is usually going to be the safe swap with this team, and then you can lure out a lot of things that beat Medicham are probably also going to be used to beat Mandibuzz, at least the fairy types, I guess. Or let's say worst case scenario, it's a Sableye. Well, then you let Medicham go down, and maybe you can farm up a ton of energy with Mandibuzz, and hopefully they don't have a solid Mandibuzz answer. So 3 really strong Pokemon here from House Stark 93. One of the top battlers in the scene for a long time. He did 2 Play Pokemon tournaments this year. Won Baltimore in his first try, and then got 3rd place NIC. And he will look to keep up the success in this upcoming Play Pokemon season. So go check out Stark. For team number 4, you may have heard of this guy. Overrated streamer. Not known for winning 2 regionals or being the first person to ever win 2 regionals. Known for being the guy that shadowballed the Noctowl. I got, quick side tangent on the video. I'm proud of like some of the things that I've been, I'm going back and forth between the 3rd person joke and myself, that I've been able to like accomplish in the Play Pokemon circuit. Bro, I got as many people that still tease me about the Noctowl incident than other stuff. Anyway, don't focus on the haters, Rise. It's okay. Where is Rise and his team? I've got so many photos here. Boom. And this is a team I came up with because I think Meganium is going to be an indirect beneficiary of these updates. The reason being is the lack of Noctowl and Altaria. And Meganium is also going to be a Pokemon that is really tanky, but also has a nice balance of heavy charge move pressure. It does lose some snuff with the Earthquake nerf. Earthquake now is losing 10 base power. So a friend of mine, Wild Susan Boyle, tweeted his thoughts I saw about these changes, and he was saying how like the biggest change for Earthquake is it's not going to be able to one-shot as many things. With Meganium, I don't know if it's too much of a difference because Earthquake from a very bulky Pokemon like usually isn't one-shotting things anyway. Plus it's non-stab from Meganium as well. So that secondary move, like maybe there's even an argument to run like Solar Beam now. Probably not. I think you still are going to be running Earthquake. But that'd be cool if they gave Meganium a secondary charge move. If they gave it like that Scorching Sands, that would be pretty nice. But Meganium, one other reason I kind of like it with these changes is if we go back to this screen and we have the speculative rankings. If you look at like the top 10, look at Meganium against the top 10. Carbink, Medi, Reggie, Gligar, Licky, Swampert, Double, Poliwrath, Stun. Like it has play against the entire top 10. Gligar, of course, a flyer, not ideal with Aerial Ace now, but like that Frenzy Plant is still going to do massive damage. And Meganium with solid play against the entire top 10, which someone from the Toph Down Discord pointed out, and I thought that was a really good point. We move on to team number 5. The Rise team goes bye-bye. And for team number 5 and the final team of this video, we say hello to Inadequence. I believe the only trainer to top cut in every single tournament he did in the Play Pokemon circuit this year. Minimum, right, of like a certain number of tournaments, because obviously Rubik's Master only did 1 and he top cut, and then he got 2nd place in the world, which is pretty insane. Shout out to Rubik's Master. We haven't given him enough credit, I think. But Mr. Inadequence, a phenomenal battler, great content creator. He has put together this team, which I thought looked pretty dang cool, of Politoed, Sableye, and Shadow Ninetales. Now, Politoed now with access to Ice Beam is going to be able to really fight back against certain things in the sky. Things like Mandibuzz, and I think that was one of the main reasons he liked Politoed here as opposed to something like Swampert, is because Politoed, now with Ice Beam, is going to be able to two-shot a lot of the flyers. Hopefully Politoed... Actually, that's a good one to look up. Let's see how Politoed does in the Mandibuzz matchup. So this isn't going to reflect the Aerial Ace change, so this won't be perfect of a simulation. But let's see now, before the Aerial Ace buff, how Ice Beam Politoed fares against Mandibuzz. And look how close that is, man. See, this is so close. 471, 500 being a tie. Mandibuzz lives with 10 HP. Mandibuzz lives with 10 HP, and that is like perfect for a farm down from one of your other Pokemon. And if we give, let's say, like a 2 Mudshot head start, it flips it. It flips it. So, like, yeah. Politoed with a really decent matchup there against Mandibuzz looks to be a pretty even matchup. And if we are seeing an increase in Mandibuzz, which I think we very well might see, excuse me, that Politoed makes a lot of sense in this meta. Oh, the rankings might have been blocking some of the view for there, so my apologies. But yeah, this is with like a 2 Mudshot head start. Politoed wins in the one shield scenario against Mandibuzz. Of course, that doesn't reflect the Aerial Ace change yet, so that might change things up. But a very cool team from Inadequence. Sableye, probably the most common safe swap in the meta, and for a reason. It's very safe. Only things that are going to hard punish it are some normal types, like Lickitung does a pretty decent job. Noctowl does a pretty decent job. But I'm not sure how the Sky Attack change will affect the Sableye Noctowl matchup. Will perhaps Sableye make that more uncomfortable? Especially Shadow Sableye. Like, Shadow Sableye probably going to be an uncomfortable scenario for Noctowl to deal with, because you can pretty much two-shot with Foul Play. And then Shadow Kanto Ninetales, which sees kind of like on and off again, hot and cold, where I feel like it gains popularity at some points in the season because there's not a whole lot of fire in the meta, and sometimes people disrespect fire on their teams, running like a grass type and a steel type together, ABA weak to fire. So Ninetales, a very powerful Pokemon, and the thing with this team, I bet, is Politoed so spammy. Maybe just trying to get shields, or maybe try and soft lose a lead matchup, so something like Sableye can farm down, and then save shields for that Ninetales closer in the back. So there you have it. 5 teams to potentially use to start Go Battle League Season 16. And if you are looking for more teams and you watched till this point in the video, make sure you go check out Inadequence's video, because he is posting 5 teams of his own from other Stadium Elite members. And I highly encourage you to watch that. Also, if you want a cheat sheet of all 10 teams, make sure you go check out Go Stadium on Twitter, because they have put together a really useful graphic that I can link you guys in the description. But shout out to Crazy Filmmaker who put the graphic together, and we're going to look to get more graphics out to you guys as the season goes on. So once again, shout out to all the people, House Stark, Fragin Wagon, Arrow, myself, and Inadequence, who submitted these team ideas. And make sure you go check out Inadequence's video right now. Link in the description. And if you enjoyed this video right now, make sure you hit that like button right now. I want to make up right now. Any Akon fans? I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and watch me on Twitch 5 p.m. Central Time today for some new Go Battle League Season 16 action. All that said, thank you for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.